Okay, we are live.
Goody. Alrighty.
Welcome everybody to Kitchen Sink Microscopy. I'm still a little sick, but not as bad as last week. So we took a week off, and and we thought today we'd talk about the super long government shutdown.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, wait, hold on a second. We're shut down. I gotta like turn wait a minute. Can I there we go. We'll turn that this light, turn that off, turn that off. We gotta conserve power, right? Because everything's
Yeah, that
shut down.
that light's not in the budget.
No, exactly. Ugh.
I
This it's just like it keeps happening. It's always happens.
I
Like
mean it's this is something that shouldn't even be a thing.
no,
Like if you can't agree on the budget, just default to the existing budget. Just
yeah, no, that's a good
keep
point.
going. Like
Go back to what you
you,
previously did and then
you can
figure
like
it out.
once you figure something out, you can go back. It's not like you're gonna overspend something in the time that you're squabbling over, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, and it just kind of drives me nuts because of how like ridiculous it's a lot of theater too. Um, and of course, it, well, I remember there was a shutdown that happened during Obama's uh, tenure, uh,
Mhm.
and like all the parks were closed, and they basically spent money to create new signs that said the park is shut down, and had people they paid them obviously to put barricades up and block everything off, and it's like wait, it can't be that shut down, can it?
It's super confusing because there's like it's just the portions of the government that are in discretionary funds, and then everything else is like kind of baked into the Constitution or whatever, or laws
Yeah,
in general, right? So,
yeah.
so of course that's how Congress still gets paid, even though they're actually the only ones not doing work. And then
Yeah,
there's people doing work and not getting a paycheck for it. And it's
I
like,
know.
why don't they just go on strike and be like, no, fuck you. We're not going to work, you
Well,
know?
I don't understand why there can't just be like a standard. Okay, this is always going to happen no matter what, and we'll adjust as time goes on. And that's what we can squabble over. It's like, oh, do we bring it up? Do we bring it down? But at least you have a base level that will always be because it's like you got bills to pay, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't know. They always do that. And then the same thing with the debt ceiling shit. Like, over and over and over again.
Well,
Like,
time and time again, this sort of problem comes from packing a bunch of different shit into one bill.
yes.
And then this one bill clogs everything up because of one little part of it, one or
Yeah.
two or three little parts of it, when it should just be a bunch of tiny bills. And then, like, you can just pass all the ones that everyone agrees on and fund all that shit. And
Yep.
then this one little thing, you can be like, all you want, and you're only holding up one tiny part, you know? Like,
Exactly. And that's reasonable. Like, okay, well, okay, we disagree on these things or whatever. So let's have a conversation about that. Meanwhile, there's all this like, oh, I don't know, there's planes flying and we have to have air traffic controllers and we got to pay the military and stuff like that. And like the Forest Service and all these people that are doing things. Uh like yeah, and that's currently the thing that's holding it up right now is like, oh, well, there's this one thing that people disagree on, and as a result you can't do anything. Like,
yeah,
oh, and of course everybody digging their heels in. You got the D team, the blue team, they're like, oh, we must have this, and the red team, they're like, we don't want that, and so we're gonna have nothing, burn it all down.
yeah.
Like, why? Well, okay. I mean, like you said, there's kind of a lot of things that I think everybody can say, okay, yeah, we should probably keep this going. Um, and then we'll figure that thing out later. Uh,
Right.
why does it all have to be all or nothing? I don't get it.
Yeah, and it's all because of like just trying to squeeze bullshit through.
Yep.
A-
Mm-hmm.
And and right now the bullshit is kind of um like the healthcare costs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and and it's like they write that into the bill knowing that it's super unpopular and that's the only way it's going to get through.
Yep.
And that is exactly what we need to get rid of. Like
I,
that
I
should
wholeheartedly
not be a
agree.
thing anymore. Like bills should be about one thing and one thing
What?
only.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
I
And that, before people start thinking like, oh, it's just a Democrat thing or something. Oh, they're responsible this time. Oh, no, Republicans have done it too. Everybody does it. They play this
yeah,
stupid game and we win the stupid prizes
yeah,
as a result. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it keeps going all the time. And I just, yeah, you're right. Bills should be about one thing. And okay, you take all the different things that nobody even reads this shit, by the way. Like the politicians, the people that we presumably elect, they don't read that shit. Um, half the stuff that's written, they don't even write it.
yeah.
So it's like, does anybody know what's going on here? But
Doubtful.
yeah, take the magic 8 ball and yep, that's the result. But it should be that way, that there should be individual things that get voted on that are specific and restricted to a, like a specific thing.
Yeah,
Like, oh, okay, we're gonna fund this thing, we're gonna fund that thing, instead of like an omnibus, like everything all in one big happy package.
mm.
Um,
I tell you, like the fault is always when things are done the way they're done now. The fault is always with whoever is drafting the fucking bill
mhm,
because it's pretty transparent what's going on. Like
mhm.
everybody knows they just try to nestle something in there that nobody wants. None of the American people
Yep.
want it. And
Yep.
then when the opposing team tries to do their actual job and represent the voters, then they're all like, "You're the bad guys. You're blah blah blah. Shutting down the government and stuff." And it's, no, you assholes are doing it because
Yep.
you're trying to like basically give this impossible ultimatum, like either shoot yourself in the foot or we'll shoot you in your other foot. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, okay, well, from my perspective, I look around, I like everything seems okay. Like it isn't like the earth is burning or something. Like everything, the traffic lights are dark and nothing's operating. Like, well, basically okay. But yes, there are definitely people who depend on some of the services that are now being held up
mhm.
because of this bullshit. Because yeah, that, like exactly that, every single time one side or the other slips in some stupid thing that nobody wants, and they it's the sword of Damocles essentially.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Well,
yeah, well, you better, well,
as of yesterday, like food benefits, like the food stamps, like lost all their funding, right?
yeah, snap, yeah.
So
Now
it's like I I
that's
know
kind of a big
people.
deal.
I've been on that and I know people that depend on that
Yeah,
and like everybody does, whether
uh,
you think you do or not. Like
well, sure, absolutely,
so
and you
so
can,
when you look around and you don't see things burning, it's like, well, they are though, you know?
yeah, there are definitely people. Well, that was kind of my point. Is like
Hmm.
in the background, there are definitely people who are not doing so well. And you can argue, there could be arguments to be made about what Snap should look like, but I think from what I've seen, everybody agrees of all political persuasions that it's a thing that ought to exist.
Yeah.
And the good thing, depending on what state you live in, a lot of states, the state governments have been kind of working to compensate, and charities and churches and shit. They're kind of like, collecting food and dispensing it, and like they're like human beings will take care of each other when times are tough, regardless of whatever the hell is happening in DC. Um, and that gives me a little bit of hope, I guess. But also, I see a lot of people kind of panicking about it and
Mm.
freaking out and getting all angry and stuff. And it's like, hey, don't be angry at your local Walmart or Fred Meyer. Be angry at those chuckle fucks up there in DC. Like, be angry at those politicians, maybe the people that you check the checkbox for. Call them up and be like, "Hey, bro, what gives? What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. Yeah. It's frustrating as hell that America has such a adolescent government, like
No kidding, no kidding.
uh, and and I mean that in a couple different ways because it is a relatively young country
Mm-hmm.
in the scheme of the world, let's say. And so
Although they're adolescents, but they're all octogenarians too.
right.
So go figure that. You
Yeah.
calculate that one, huh?
But I mean, they're in their 80s, but they certainly all act like teenagers. Yeah, like
Yes,
it's crazy.
I know.
And like all of these plot holes that we find with the government, like bills having way too much shit in them and things like that. These are things that constantly just go unfixed.
Yeah.
It's like the messy room of the adolescent United States is constantly in a flux of a different state of mess. It's like, oh, I'm gonna
Yep.
clean my room, I'm gonna gather up all these clothes. Oh, where do I put them? Oh, let's put them on the bed.
Put them in the
Like,
closet, shove them
yeah,
in the closet.
you
Well,
just move the mess around. You're not actually
it's
doing
it's
anything to tidy it up. Like,
it's the same thing with like homelessness and stuff. Like in Tacoma, there's sort of a policy of sweeps and getting rid of people, and but it's like, well,
yeah,
what they don't just go away.
right,
Like they're still fucking homeless. Like
yeah.
they're just not going to be in the spot where they were a moment ago. They're going to just be in another spot.
I just imagine like cops getting out of their car with brooms and being like, "All right, go away,
Yeah.
quit being homeless." Like,
Yeah. Well, and it's the same thing with all this stuff too. It's the same old story. It happens over and over and over again. The cycle continues. Like there's a whole lot of sound and fury signifying nothing, and nothing gets done. Um, it- and everybody gets all worked up about it. Like, oh yeah, I mean, keep voting and stuff because well, maybe it'll be better the next time. We'll just vote like for a different person. Like, well, okay, can you? I mean, observation, right? You can look
right.
out there and be like, what's the track record of success and progress? Oh, there hasn't been any. Okay, well, maybe we're doing everything wrong, and we should uh, approach it from a different angle. Try
Yeah.
something different.
I yeah. I read about something called like the human design concept of like approaching problems in a way that humans would I don't know, like react
Mm-hmm.
and building around that, like essentially what would stupid people do? Okay, let's make it so that they
Mm-hmm.
can't, do it
Mm-hmm.
that way. Um, and when you're addressing each stage of that, you do that whole like five whys thing, you just keep
Mm-hmm.
asking like why until you get
Yep.
down to the actual like core problem and it's like okay, well, it would be a huge undertaking, but if we did that with the government and just really broke down to all the constituent parts like where these problems are and then figured out a way to do it better,
Yeah.
why aren't we doing this?
Well,
Like,
and
so
I would
frustrating.
no, that's a good idea, and I would. say to people who vote and expect something of their politicians, their representatives, as their colloquially words as they're known. um, like, when has anything ever gotten fixed? Look, just give me an example of something that was a problem and is now not a problem. Like, when has politics and the political engine ever actually solved a problem? Like, because I, I mean, you can look at the campaign ads from back in the 60s, and they're talking about the same shit the campaign ads of today are talking about. Like, oh, vote for me and I'm going to fix that. And they never do. Like, oh, yeah, all these problems still exist. Like hunger and homelessness and poverty and, uh, I don't know, crime and stuff. It's still there. When has anybody fixed it?
I to the credit of many, let's say, I am starting to see people acknowledging and voicing the fact that the crime problem correlates almost perfectly with poverty problem.
Yes. Yes, it does.
And all these policies being implemented and all these, uh, things getting bills held up and governments shut down is all setting the stage for increasing poverty,
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
and thereby increasing crime and thereby opening the door for more martial law and
Mhm.
authoritarian procedures and
Well,
such.
because absolutely, because like people feel helpless, and it's like, oh well, we're going to go with the nuclear option, right?
Hmm.
Even though we had the capability to improve this for the longest time, and we just kind of ignored it and swept it under the rug, and told you, oh yeah, it's not actually happening, just gaslighting all the way. And then when it becomes blatantly apparent, to the point where nobody can ignore it, then they're like, oh, we gotta, I guess, we gotta bring in the fucking military and shit. Like, well, you wouldn't have to do that. I mean, okay, maybe that's an option now, but like it shouldn't be. Like, we could have taken care of that a long time ago. And yes, poverty, 100%. Like, people spend a lot of time spinning their wheels over wealth uh, disparity and stuff, and it's like, no, it's not really a problem. Poverty is the problem. It's the poorest among us,
Well,
the most helpless people are the, like, that's the measure, that's the
I direct
yardstick that
you.
we should
I,
be.
I direct you to the five whys, though. It's like, why is there poverty? Because if you follow that chain, you absolutely do come to wealth disparity. Because I mean, it's common sense. Like if I have all these Ricolas here, right? Like, and this is how many Ricolas there are, and I'm hoarding all of them in my left hand, and there's only three over here, and I spend these three. Well, there's no more Ricolas because
Well,
this guy's holding all of them.
okay, like
It's pretty clear.
we disagree on that particular aspect, because in my opinion, the an economy is not a zero sum game. But it it's irrelevant.
Only because you
We,
just print more money, right?
well, what is money too? We've talked about that. Um, I mean, it's kind of made up, isn't it? But it's a tool, right? Um, it, but focusing on that dismisses the core problem, which is poverty. Like, it doesn't matter how much stuff somebody has, as long as the lesser among us have enough to get by, to live a comfortable and healthy life. And we don't exist in that world right now, and that's
No.
the problem. It's like I so now you would say that the wealth disparity is somehow complacent in that, but I would say it's government. Government is the reason. If you ask the five whys and you track it back to its core, government is at the heart of all of this, and we should hold it accountable. We should be, people are angry and rightfully so, but be angry at the right people. You know, like, be angry at the people who promised you that they would do something about it, and they just sat idly by and snorted coke and hung out with their hookers and shit like that. Like,
I mean,
okay,
it's hard to be too angry at people that very clearly don't have that much power as much as they'd like you to believe.
you're right. No, you're right.
So, so how can you put the blame on them when, you know, like money is power. Like that is demonstrable.
Mm.
Um, you know, so it just I really don't know why you feel the need to make some abstract shift away from wealth being a problem, but you know,
Well, okay. Let's talk about the US. What is money in the US and where does it come from? Does it come from like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos? Do they make it, or does the government make it? Or maybe a quasi governmental organization that we really have no control over?
well,
That's kind of my point.
who makes it? Like, what does that have to do with who's hoarding it?
Well,
Like,
I'm not talking about hoarding. I'm talking about
like
where
the
money
creation
actually.
or the existence of money is separate from the collection of it and the distribution of it and the, you know,
Well, but
circulation of it. And
yeah, and that's a whole. There's a two divergent conversations there. But like, where does it come from? It doesn't grow on trees. It is a fabrication of governmental institutions. So therefore, government controls it. Government makes, like, they control corporations. Like, corporations are not something that human beings just fabricate out of the ether. You have to ask permission and you get a license basically to operate that. And there's rules and regulations and all
kind of
this
the other
stuff.
way around, isn't it? Don't corporations really own the government?
Well, okay, yes. We're a fascistic corporatocracy. So yes, this is true. However, you can't just start a corporation without asking permission from the government. And
Yeah, but I mean, nobody ever get it. Like it, you just pay the money, you pay the fee, the $200 fee to incorporate or whatever, and boom, there you go. Like there's no government saying, no, you're not allowed to do that. You know,
yeah, yeah.
it's super easy to start a business in the United States. Like,
Well, sure. I mean, it's obviously, yeah. But I guess my point is there's a broader enemy, I suppose, of the populace that we should be paying attention to. Because if we target the wrong foe, we're not going to solve any problems. We're going to be playing a game of whack-a-mole, um, while the system still continues behind us. Like
yeah, I
that's
mean,
what
the
I was
problem
talking.
definitely is the government because they're kind of the only ones with the power to go at the foe for hoarding all that money, you know, like
Except
it via
they don't.
tax.
They don't.
Right.
They
Because
never do.
they're owned by
Yeah.
the rich
Well, I
people and the
mean,
corporations.
where do people's campaign funds come from, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, okay, it's well, yeah, scratch your
So like
back, you know.
the why has led us to, as always, the elites, you know,
Yes,
and the elites are both government and the mega rich.
yes.
Like they're
Oh,
intertwined.
for
It,
sure.
it
Yes,
it is a cabal, you know, like it's a
oh,
big fat cabal.
it
But
is. And that's my point. Is like, okay, well, why do we keep playing that dumbass game? What? Why keep participating? Why care about that? Because it doesn't serve us. It's like a God that never answers your prayers ever. Things just get worse. You keep praying, and like the world keeps burning, and people keep starving, and people keep dying. Like, Okay, well,
I mean,
maybe stop praying to that God.
you might as well say, well, you know, stop trying to take the guy's hands off your throat when he's choking you. Well, what
Mm-hmm.
else should you do? Just die? Yeah.
Well, no, but it is faith that it's faith that keeps that whole system alive, just like religion. Um, and speaking about politicians, you're saying they don't have any power, and yeah, I mean, individually they don't. They're also idiots. If anybody thinks that a politician uh, is like a super intelligent, wise person, well, I've got oceanfront property in Nevada to sell you. Um, they're not. They're dumbasses, and they're a bunch of flim flam men and women. They're
You
just
should totally do that with your property in Nevada, by the way. Just put up a big billboard sign that says oceanfront property ahead. Like,
oh yeah. But I mean, they're a bunch of con artists, and people keep getting conned. It's like, okay, how many times do you respond to the Nigerian prince email before you realize it's like like they're trying to scam you,
yeah,
and the politicians do that, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they're continuing to do it, and people keep getting caught up in it. You know what? That's the thing. It's like, coming at it from an anarchist standpoint, it's like, I think the best way is community involvement, which, hey, with the snap thing, that's what's being done. Fucking
yeah,
like soup kitchens or whatever you want to call them, churches, state level things. They're just like, well, okay, this doesn't, the federal government isn't providing this anymore, so I guess we'll have to step up. And they are. Like,
yeah.
it, there you go. And that should illustrate how pointless those things are. It's like, hey, we were able to do this without that,
Wasn't there
without
a
these.
musician that donated like, Billie Eilish gave
Oh
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
quarter of her wealth
Mm-hmm.
to help combat the hunger, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's great to see that happening. Uh, it would be great to see more of it happen, but like it's sad that it's coming to that. It's sad that like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say people have faith in government because it it's going to it does actually exist. It's not like a god. Like you can point to it, you can touch it, you can stab it and it bleeds, which may or may not be a good idea. Oh, demonetized.
Demonetized.
But like if if you just don't participate, it just goes on going on. Unlike the whole government shutdown thing, where they're just like, "Oh no, the bill's not passing. We got to stop everything." Like, they don't do that if you don't vote. They're just like, I guess we'll just stay here. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, that's a whole tangential
mhm.
conversation for another day.
You know,
But
on the poverty thing though, there was a great lyric by Megadeth in 2007. The
mhm,
quiet war has begun with silent weapons, and the new slavery is to keep the people poor and stupid.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, that
that is
that line has stayed in my head 18
truer
years now.
words have never been spoken, honestly. And that goes to the public education system too. It's like, we have an education system in the US, at least, that's based on education for slaves. Just give people enough knowledge to be able to punch a clock and do the work, not enough knowledge to be able to recognize what's happening and how to solve it, be able to work for themselves and solve problems on their own. No,
Mhm.
no, we can't have that, because, well, we want people dependent on the government, because dependency, uh, well, that legitimizes the existence of government, in my opinion. Um, and I think it's bad, because, like, I don't want to see people dependent. I don't want to see people helpless. Like, I, I'm a prepper. That's kind of one of the things with the videos that I do, Tacoma Prepper stuff. It's like, I want everybody to be ready. So when the shit hits the fan, whatever it is, if it's an alien invasion, if it's, I don't know, an eruption or an earthquake or something, I don't want there to be people without. I want everybody to be like, oh, okay, well, we'll just dig into our supplies and follow the things that we've learned and practiced, and like, okay, everybody's fine. Like, huh, okay, like, that's what I want.
Mm.
I want
Yeah.
everybody to be capable, and I don't know, but governments don't want that. Look at the FEMA stuff. Like they don't want people to be ready for disasters. They have a little bit of advice there, your basic bit shit that they put up. But like, okay, well, most people aren't even going to pay attention to that. They're not ready. When some emergency happens, nobody's ready, and they're going to panic, and they're going to be like, oh my god, what the hell do I do? It's like, well, fall back on your training. Oh, you have no training? Well, shit. That's where we are now, and that's the thing. It's like, uh, I like I followed the Snap thing for a while, and it's like, okay, these people had a pretty good amount of resources at their disposal for quite a while, and they have nothing on hand. Meanwhile, like, I see people using their EBT card to buy a whole shopping cart full of food, and I have my little humble little basket of stuff that I'm paying for with my debit card, and I have a stockpile of stuff for shortages. So why don't they? But because education. That's why. Because
Well,
it's like,
I can tell you from experience, you can't buy much with those benefits. Like, um, more than likely they're using it up and then supplying the rest of the money with whatever they've got in their bank account or cash or whatever. But it falls super short. Like, you can't actually live off of it. It just helps a bit.
well,
Um,
the S is supplemental. That's what it
right.
stands for. So,
Yeah.
it, but we shouldn't be. We are as close to a post scarcity world as we could possibly be right now, as
Yeah.
we ever have been. So there's no excuse. Like, I always fall back on like, back in the day when I was a kid and I went to McDonald's on a field trip, and they had this huge trash can, and they were throwing chicken nuggets in the trash can. I mean, steaming hot, they were still edible, and they're throwing them in the trash can. And I'm like, what? Why are you throwing all these chicken nuggets away? They're perfectly fine. And they're like, well, it's regulation. Like, they've been out there long enough. Like, that shouldn't be.
Mm.
We have more than enough. We have a bountiful harvest to feed everybody on planet Earth, and yet it's all going to the landfill and getting
Here in
wasted.
Germany, every restaurant has to throw everything away at the end of the day.
Mm.
They don't keep anything. Like, they start from scratch each day, and that's overkill. Like, whew.
Which, so here's a thought that, because I remember, I was watching some people. Maybe I was going on a milk crate run, possibly at Safeway, and I was watching people throw food into the dumpster, and like, expired things that were still perfectly fine. And so they dump a bunch of shit into the dumpster and walk away. And this homeless person, presumably, comes up, crawls into the dumpster, and just takes a bunch of shit out, like like a bunch of eggs and cheese and things like that. And it's like, well, okay, if they're taking it out of the dumpster anyway, why don't you just hand it to them before it goes into the dumpster? So there isn't like a bunch of toilet paper and shit, touching that. Just, there should be a back door for those things when
I
you're
think a
about.
couple years ago we talked about an idea of like a food truck kind of going around at grocery stores and
Mm,
just like cooking up whatever they had left over for
yeah,
homeless people, and they could just kind of congregate in the back of the place at a certain time, and
yeah,
and
yeah,
like, free food.
anybody who's hungry, right? Like there's no excuse.
Yeah.
Hunger should not exist on planet Earth right now.
Mm-mm.
We we have the technology. We have so much resources that
Yeah.
it should
Now,
be
okay, like
impossible.
I can understand to a degree there's always going to be some amount of food waste because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
logistics and the fact that food spoils and all that stuff is
Sure.
it's difficult to get a zero sum out of that. But yeah, like to the degree where Germany does it is just astounding to me. It's like you're that worried about like foodborne illness that you're just going to waste a bunch of food, like good food.
Yeah.
Uh, God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's that. Yeah. Well, one of my favorite places here in Tacoma is Infinite Soups place downtown. And one of the cool things they have, so they've got like fresh rolls and bread and stuff like that to go with the soup. But also they have yesterday's uh, bread and rolls, and see, I actually prefer that. It's like, oh, it's half the price. It's perfectly good. You dip that in the soup, and oh man, it's amazing. But it's like
Mm.
it's perfectly fine. There's no mold on that, and even if there is, humankind has been eating moldy, old, rancid food for millennia. Like that was kind of the norm. We just have the technology now to detect and track and prevent such things. But like, okay, well, is it really that bad? Um, I, I the thing is, again, it goes back to like, okay, if somebody's dumpster diving for food, wouldn't it be better if you just handed it to them out the back door rather than have them crawl around in a potentially dangerous dumpster to grab some food out of
Mm.
there? And that's in the US. Across the world it is way worse though. There are some places, holy shit. um it's like mm,
You know,
this
I
is
had a
why.
thought with the whole education system and whatnot, keeping people stupid or whatever. Um, like I also have a lot of problems with like complete lack of regulation in education, but I see the strengths in both systems. So maybe it would just make sense to have like, you know, part of the day be, you know, uh, your standard curriculum or whatever that everyone should have some exposure to and be able to like have a modicum of ability to perform these minor tasks or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then, maybe the latter part of the day, you could just go to like a workshop of whatever interests you,
Yeah.
or maybe like whatever you're struggling with in school. Like if you're having trouble with math or something, like go into a particular workshop where you can see math in the real world in action,
Yeah.
like measuring things and cutting wood or whatever, and
Yeah,
or
where there's a practical application. That
yeah.
is something I advocate for actually. Uh,
Hmm.
and and yeah, like maybe businesses ought to be encouraged, maybe get like tax breaks or something if they have students come in and do a little bit of something.
Yeah.
It benefits the community, so the business is helped by these people. Well, maybe these people coming in, learning things, doing things, and
Cooking can help you with chemistry.
yeah.
And most people probably don't even realize that or think about that,
Mm-hmm.
or draw
Yeah.
parallels between those two things, like, but
Sure.
it
Well,
it it it's just how the brain is connecting things. It's like when you put things in a pan and apply heat and change their state, and then they blend together and their molecules are combining and stuff. You're seeing chemistry in action,
sure.
you know?
And the nice thing about that is like, oh, you have something delicious to eat now.
Hmm.
Well, in theory.
Yeah. I mean, so like what if that was the price of admission to something like that, to a workshop like that? Like every
Mhm.
day you come in with a fresh meat, a fresh vegetable, and some kind of carbohydrate, and work in this soup kitchen, and I'll show you how to cook something delicious out of whatever you bring
Yeah.
in, and people will eat.
I,
And
dude, I completely agree with that. And I think that like the societal benefit in the community would like that would be a good thing. So
mm,
like, oh, you're actually tangibly doing something that impacts the community in a positive way, like the world around you, your neighbors and stuff. That'd be good. Or
mm,
working with your neighbors to learn how to do stuff. And I think people, so I kind of I'm a big fan of Cicero and his education style, which is basically in like teaching people how to teach themselves, essentially. And that's what I think the education system should do. Like, you shouldn't have to be, they shouldn't have to like take a packet of information and shove it into your brain for you to know things. You should be seeking that information out on your own. And the education system merely has to encourage you and inspire you to go learn and provide, hey, if my tax money is going to this, I want there to be tools out there, like resources for kids to learn how to do things. And it should be a community project. It comes down to knowledge. It comes down to education. There's one of the primary reasons that people are struggling and why poverty exists is education or lack thereof. Like, well, also politicians too. Like Yale is not what it used to be, is it? Huh? Really? You graduated from Yale, huh? But also critical thinking for people to be aware of when they're being conned and how they're being conned. uh,
mm,
that's important too. Because essentially, like, what it's devolved to nowadays, politics, is idiocracy. It's a popularity contest. It's like, oh, which politician looks the best or is the nicest or
right.
placates like, and that okay, that, I mean, that's fine in like the school grounds or whatever, but when it comes to the bigger picture, the world, and solving actual problems, that is not how you do that. um,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm, like going back to the whole shutdown idea, you know, maybe it's time for the people to shut down the gears that drive the government,
Yeah.
like all of the companies and such that have contracts with the government or whatever. I like this idea of the states withholding sales tax revenue from the federal government. Just stop all that. Like,
Yeah.
because each individual person actually is impotent to do anything. Like we can vote and that's it, and that's doesn't do shit anyway. Um,
Well, we could do more than that. we
you
we
know,
can share information and help another
yeah, but
person.
as far as like actionable um, things that would have real impact,
Mhm.
things like that could actually work.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
And you know what? Like revolutions, both bloody and peaceful,
Mhm.
have had success. It just takes a lot of people coming together and doing the same thing at the same time, like
Yeah.
together. And of course, everything in the United States right now is built to divide.
Yeah.
And into
Mhm.
two teams or more, um,
Yeah. Well, exactly. And
just
that,
so that won't happen, you know?
well, and that's standing in the way of actual progress, of like improving things.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, like the only time things get improved is when regular people get together and do the work. Like the political system doesn't have your back.
Yeah.
Anybody who believes that, like you're deceiving yourself. They're lying to you. It's all a facade. And we keep, oh yeah, well, it's the most important election. Like the fuck it is. It never was. Like it's gonna be the same old, same old. The gears keep turning, and like the same shit happens, and the same problems still exist. Nobody ever solves anything because they don't have an interest in doing that. Like, and of course the media perpetuates that myth by getting people whipped up into a frenzy about like, oh my god, this is so important, it matters. It's like, go back and look, like I'd said earlier, when has the political system ever solved a problem, like a big problem? I I can't imagine.
I
Like I
mean,
haven't seen any.
8-hour workdays and weekends are implemented by government policies, but technically we have unions to thank for that.
Well,
So,
there's even things earlier than that. That was already a thing in the private sector before government came in. So they're like standing in front of the parade, pretending to lead it. Um, but well, and that goes back to my premise of like human beings, communities solve shit on their own. They don't need government. Like government just makes things messier and more complicated, and it, and generally doesn't fix things. You know how long it takes to fill a pothole? Just that alone. Like I was watching a video today of this lady, like she, like where does she live? Oh, it doesn't matter. But her street had all these potholes, and she'd been complaining to the city over and over and over again, like, oh, there's all these potholes. And it was only after she used her ring camera to record all these vehicles just banging into potholes and popping their tires. Even a government vehicle crashed into a pothole. She recorded it and it went viral. And then they were like begrudgingly, oh, well, okay, I guess we'll put some asphalt down. It's like, what? Okay, well, aren't you supposed to be like, I,
yeah,
uh, and that's like a small thing. That's an easy thing. Like, but you just fix the road, right? Like, I
yeah.
mean, that's what we're paying taxes for, aren't we?
Memphis has got some of the worst potholes I've ever seen in my life. Killed one of my cars.
Jeez.
I
And
only lived there for 4 months.
and no doubt people have been complaining about it for a long time, and the city does nothing about it. Ugh. I do like what is it? The Tacoma Reporter, I think it is. They have in the back page, I believe, the pothole pig, where they stick this little pig in a pothole to highlight, like, oh, hey, there's a big ass pothole in Tacoma. It needs to be repaired. And
Nice.
like, shaming the government.
Hmm.
Like they should be ashamed. Like you ought to be ashamed. You have millions, potentially billions of dollars at your disposal, and you're sitting there on your high horse, like, oh, I'm going to solve all these problems. You don't do shit. Like you haven't done shit. What you've done is soaked up our tax money to do nothing. And then you have the gall to ask for re-election. Fuck that. That's what we ought to be saying.
And more taxes.
And more taxes. Yep. Oh yeah, Washington
Washington
State now.
does love its taxes.
Oh, well, there's more and more taxes. They just passed like the highest tax hike in history of Washington State. Yay! I'm happy to live here, right? Like, oh yeah, everything is peachy keen. All those problems are perfectly solved, right? Everything's good. And my ass. I- okay, I'm an old man. I'm bitter. I'm justified. Hmm. Hmm. But
Yeah.
we should be asking more because, like, there's no reason. Like, with billions or potentially, when you're talking on the federal level, you're talking trillions of dollars. Trillions. People can't even fathom that. Like, if that was $1 bills, you could stack that to the moon and back like 100 times. Like, there's that is so much money.
Yeah.
How the hell are there still people who are hungry? How the hell are there still people who are unhoused? Like, why haven't we, I don't know, cured a bunch of diseases by now? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
What it ought to be. I think back to Star Trek, Star Trek 4, the voyage home, with the one with the whales, right? Where
Yeah.
there's the lady with who's on dialysis, and
Yeah.
McCoy hands her like a little pill and it's like, oh, take that, and here you go. And like
Dialysis. What is this? The Dark Ages?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, we are to that point now. We should be way beyond that. Why the hell? I don't know. I'm
Meanwhile, Bones like travels back in time with a kidney pill like in his
I
pocket.
know. Yeah, wait.
Like,
That is a bit weird, but it highlights kind of like how, yeah. Oh man. But we could do that, and I don't know why people keep playing this stupid ass game, like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
yeah. You know, if I were wealthy, I think I would kind of go around the country hosting events that were staged a little bit like that Heineken ad, and
Yeah. Yeah.
like get people like purposely get people of opposite mindsets into the same area, give them some kind of, you know, relaxing environment and or, change it up, maybe have a team building exercise or something,
Well,
like
that was the
do
Heineken thing, was like you had a challenge you had to meet together,
yeah.
even though you disagreed on a particular thing.
Hmm. And yeah, like just get people over this idea that there's two camps in the country, and as long as they're fighting with each other, they're not going for the real enemy. And
Well, and just like money is pretty much made up,
mm,
politics is pretty much made up. Meanwhile, there are actual things, like things that need to be solved, that everybody can do if we put our heads together and worked on those problems. We could solve them. Like, crowdsource that shit. Like, that's all it would take.
yeah,
Like, cut out the middleman. Why do we need all these chuckle fucks up there in DC making all these decisions and like having all these meetings when they choose to meet, um and then being like, oh yeah, okay, well, this is the final decision, or these are the things that we want to provide. Like, why? what, what who are they? That I would ask that question. Who the hell are you? And why are you the person who should solve this problem? Why not my neighbor? Why not me? Why can't my neighbor and I go and solve that problem? Why can't we just fix the pothole and be done with it? Like, okay, done. Like, that was simple. Like,
I
oh,
guess there's nothing stopping you from doing that though. right? It's
Well,
not technically illegal
there's
to go do that, is
regulations
there?
and stuff. It's like even fixing a pothole on your street could technically be illegal. But I mean, guerrilla tactics, right? You could just do it in
Right.
the middle of the night, and like nobody would be like, they start knocking on doors and asking, "Oh, did you see anything?" Like, I didn't see anything. I don't know. I just woke up and the potholes filled.
I don't know. Like when I was growing up, the neighbor across the alley from our place, I forget like what he did for a job, but it had something to do with gravel or something, and he got tired of the alley being all like full of holes and stuff, so he just like brought his truck one day and filled it in with gravel and kind of like steamed over it and made it relatively like not paved, but like pretty flat and
Yeah.
smooth, and he just did that.
And we should. That's the thing. It's like, hey, if you see somebody who's hungry, don't worry about the stupid ass regulations. If you're like a store manager or whatever, and you're
Mm,
throwing a bunch of shit away, hey, I don't know, put something on Craigslist or out there in the community, like a secret thing, like you midnight, come by and we'll just hand you baskets of food that are perfectly good, by the way. Like those expiration dates are engineering shit that you could easily go weeks beyond that, depending.
uh,
Um,
there's something super cool here that um, we've been taking advantage of almost every week. It's called Too Good to Go,
mm,
and there's like restaurants and bakeries and stuff where like the end of the day you can come get like a surprise bag for like €4,
yeah,
and it's like sometimes three giant bags full of bread,
yeah.
and I go collect that in the evening and come home and we make a bunch of sandwiches and stuff, and it's like
I,
four people eat for €1 each, like
I know. Well, and
for
that
several days.
that benefits the community overall. Like, okay, the the business gets a little extra money that they would otherwise throw away. You get
Mhm.
some stuff at a discount. Um, Good. Why not?
Yeah.
I,
And it's all baked that day, so it's fresh.
perfectly fine. Like I've made bread, and yeah, like the next day it's still edible. It isn't like
Mm.
like gonna suddenly sprout mold all over the place. Well, and that's what we should be doing, I think, is ignoring the demands of the government and their rules and regulations, and working instead in favor of the people, like taking care of your community, uh,
Mm.
or the community on planet Earth too. Hey, we like you know me. I'm not really a borders person. Um, so like, well, like you said, the butterfly effect earlier, it all comes back, and it's all interconnected, and we should lift all boats, essentially.
Mm.
Um, like if you have a little extra, give it to people. Like it's not going to do you any good in the afterlife.
Yeah.
So,
We've only got a couple weeks to shape up and look better when the aliens arrive. So
oh yeah, oh shit, I gotta make that Tacoma Prepper video about that.
yeah.
Think it'll be kind of like a humorous one, probably. Oh man.
At the end, you get like beamed up or something.
Yeah, well, I have an idea about how to end that. So a little different, a little darker, maybe. Um, but maybe we should be acting in that regard, because God, I don't remember what season it was. The Galactic Empire minute microscopy.
Hmm.
That hey, we should be acting as if that's the case. because it probably, like, statistically speaking, it probably is. Um, so why not? Why are we so self-serving that all we care about is ourselves? We should be caring about other people. Like, hey, you know, if this giant alien invasion fleet came down to planet Earth and they're looking at us and they're like, should we wipe them out because they're a bunch of ants, or are they intelligent beings?
Well, here's what I would think in a maybe a kind of an abstract take that nobody really considers. And that's like, so when you think about like Russia and Ukraine and how they're at war, right? But the people in the cities and the towns and stuff that are living their everyday lives, like they aren't fighting, they aren't hating each other,
Mm-mm.
they aren't responsible for any of that or have anything to do with it or have any say over it. That's most of the world, really.
Yeah.
Like we don't have any say over all these horrible things that are being done in the name of patriotism and borders and stuff. And so I it I would imagine any spacefaring race probably went through such an adolescent phase of their own evolution and would
Yeah.
remember that phenomenon and in visiting a, a new planet rather than have this whole prime directive shit from Star Trek,
Mm-hmm.
I would say go directly to the the everyday Joe and be like, hey, we want to help you guys, you know, uh, liberate yourselves from your slave masters. You know,
Yeah.
I would hope that aliens would come here and help us rid ourselves of what plagues this planet, you know?
Which is a resource thing at the end of the day. Um, Actually, that's an interesting thought too, because there's the whole like, well, why is it always people in the Midwest and like farmers out in the middle of nowhere that the aliens visit? It's like, well, those are the people who
Yeah.
they would visit. Why would they go to this little podunk place called Washington, D.C. with a bunch of chuckle fucks that don't know what they're doing? No, they're going to go to the guy that's a salt of the earth kind of person and be like, oh, yeah, you're like an actual human being. You're not a zombie like those guys.
Yeah. They're all wearing uniforms. The suits and ties and everything could be
Mhm.
construed as just another military or
Or
something,
a bunch of robots, which,
Yeah.
well, I guess that
Or
that
lizard people.
lizard people that tracks. Uh, oh
Yeah,
man,
that actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it in terms of like, if you went to another world and wanted to make first contact, you'd probably feel most comfortable talking to someone you could relate to,
yeah.
you know? And
Mhm.
and it's not likely that the, you know, presidents and the prime ministers and all those people are going to be the ones in the spaceship
Mhm.
breaking the frontier and like riding at the front and being like, okay, we're here. No, of course not. It's going to be
Well,
the regular
it
aliens,
would be, yeah. Well, because they're regular people too.
hmm
And there's the whole idea of like, oh, take me to your leader. Like, well, why?
Right.
What?
So I can punch him in
What?
the nose.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, well, now I know who to, zap with my zapper.
Right.
Okay, clean that. Okay, let's carry on.
I would gladly take them to my leader and be
I
like, there he
good.
is. That's the one. That's the one who bullied us.
Yep. Can't
Kick his ass.
demonetize that one. Oh man. Yeah, I would too. So hmm. Well,
I
and
mean that would be that would be a really effective way to evolve our species beyond, this giant speed bump that we have in front of us, like
Well, we
it's just a giant hindrance on us, our society, all of this elitism and you know,
yeah, no kidding, man. And we started off hunter gatherers and stuff, and resources were the speed bump, and then we developed civilization and religion, and then religion became the speed bump, and then we advanced beyond that and developed politics, and then politics is now the speed bump. So I would say, hey, look beyond that. Um, like consider all that shit old hat. Like this is old stuff that doesn't do us any good. Like we should be working towards a bright future. We have a bright future. Holy fuck. The, the technology we have now, we can
mhm.
solve almost every problem.
I mean,
Like
they're on the verge of curing cancer.
I,
Like,
but it's basically cured at
there's
this point.
multiple angles they're coming at it, and they're
Mhm.
all astounding. Like
There's like the infrared therapy for certain ones. There's the
mRNA.
actinium 225 treatment, which is
Mm,
like fucking miracle stuff. It's like Jesus level stuff. Um, it like yeah, we have the technology. We could easily do this. People ought to be living 300 years. Um, even people like me whose livers are probably pretty salty. It's okay. I
yeah.
can just 3D print another one. Like, we could 3D print organs, by the way. That's a thing. And we could 3D print anything. It's super cheap. Like, we are living in a post scarcity world, but we just don't
Hmm.
know it. We're like, we don't want to admit it, I guess.
We're
Mainstream.
we're not allowed to acknowledge it, I think.
Yeah.
Like because as soon as we acknowledge it, people are gonna start to pull at the threads and be like, well, if there's plenty of everything, why do we have to buy everything, you know?
Well, and we'll for quite a time, we're probably going to need to use money, but we don't need to use it nearly as much as we think we do.
Yeah.
Like that is the point. Is like we have the resources now
Yeah.
to be able to
Co-
provide everything that a human
commerce
being
can
needs.
exist without physical, tangible tokens, you
Well,
know?
it's kind of fun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that existing, but when it comes to the vitals, the important stuff, like
Hmm.
all that is sussed. We have
Yeah.
that completely locked up and good to go. Like we just have to, I don't know, stop fighting each other over bullshit. Even space too, like land. I like on the drive to Nevada to the Nevada property. There was so much open space. Most of that drive was nothing, like rolling hills with nothing.
Hmm.
And people are like, "Oh, there's nowhere to live." I'm like, um, this 1,000 miles of nothing that I drove through, you could live there. Like we have the resources too. Like, okay,
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, you need things as well, like you
well,
have to.
water is probably the primary thing, but we already have that fixed too. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I mean, I'm talking about like commerce and
yeah, oh, yeah,
like
well, for sure. But
for having like a normal life, you kind of want to have certain things within your vicinity, and that's why it's possible, but it can't just be like one or two people colonizing the middle of the desert and then all of a
No.
sudden like it thrives or something.
Well, Las Vegas.
Oh,
There's that.
that wasn't just one or two people though. That
No,
was
no, it
the
wasn't. But
mafia.
yeah,
It really was. Like
but yeah, I know. But it's possible. And I guess the point is like it isn't hopeless. And we should be helping each other. We should be working together to solve problems and make the world a better place. Like in my world, like an outdoorsman, one of the kind of the statements that is, is core is like leave no trace, leave it better than when you came. And that's what I think about planet Earth. Like,
hmm.
okay, me, an inhabitant of planet Earth, I want to leave this planet a better place than when I came.
You know what? I would I I'm issuing you a challenge
Hmm.
with your Nevada property. I think you should build an Arco, like from SimCity.
Oh yeah. Well,
Like
that is
like a
actually
self-contained city in like a tower, you know, like
no, that is kind of the plan. Um, it's half okay. Well, there's going to be like a 20-acre lake probably, um, in the middle of the high desert, but also a community where people can live, and it's going to be a better version of Burning Man. So a party place. Like at one point in time in the year, all kinds of people will show up and converge there. It's going to be a massive party. Something spectacular is going to happen. It's in the county, so I can do kind of a lot. Uh, but also, it'll be a place where, like, hey, 85 acres is kind of big. It's a lot of land. Um, can house a lot of people. Um,
yeah.
and so my thing is like I'll do my part. Like I always the doors open for people. Like, hey, if you're somebody I know and you're a cool person, you're welcome to come here and build a life, such as it is. Uh, hmm.
Build a life.
Well, and you look at people would be like, well, it's a high desert, it's really inhospitable. Okay, well, there's literally people living there. There's a whole city 20 minutes away. Um, it, and then what about the Eskimos? Huh? They're building igloos out of snow and shit, and they used to be a thriving still like culture. Uh,
Mhm.
so like, well, we could still do that.
Well, if the desert wasn't getting high all the time, it might be more hospitable.
Oh, it'll get high, man. Yeah,
Cobra
Cobra
Man.
Man. Yep. It's pretty temperate. It gets cold, it gets hot, not too cold, not too hot, not a lot of precipitation. Lots of mountains. It's beautiful at night. The stars, holy shit. I will just say
Mm.
that. Oh my God. So, but like, that's the thing. Like, if everybody did that to whatever like measure of ability they had, the world would be a better place and would be just fine. We'd be just fine. We wouldn't be fighting. Nobody would want for anything. Like, other than maybe collectibles and whatnot. Obviously, that would be a thing. You wouldn't want for necessities.
Mhm.
That's like
I
I
mean,
don't have.
that should be the goal, you know.
Yeah.
If nobody is suffering or needing anything, it it frees everybody. Like
Mhm.
like I think that for me is where liberty actually comes from is not needing to do anything. Um, like even like hunting or whatever, like you don't have to do that. You can get food.
Mm-mm.
Like, because the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So
Yeah.
if there's a community that that does the hard things together so that it's not really that hard,
That
then nobody
that
has to work hard.
that's a
And
really
that's
good
great.
point.
That is
Yep.
liberty to me. Like,
Well, yeah, and communities are a team. That, like, okay, individually, if you had to dig like a big ass hole, that'd be a pain in the ass.
mm,
If you got like 20 people working on it and you've got a bunch of like heavy equipment, okay, well, it's fucking easy. Like, oh, that's like a Saturday afternoon, and you're done. Like that's my point is we have the technology to solve almost all these problems, like freeing us up to not have to worry about that stuff. Like, okay, at that point, all you got to worry about is whatever you want to accomplish or create that day, and not like, oh, how am I gonna feed my kids or something like that? Where's
yeah.
the water gonna come from? Like, the planet is literally 70% or 80% water. There, uh, yeah. I, of course, it's saline. So
Yeah.
we've already fixed that too. So swivel on that, huh? Punk.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got hope that, that technology and just the sense of doing the right thing will ultimately prevail and the world can grow.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it might take some help from the aliens, I think.
yes, I think you're right. I think it will. Well, because we're still too hyper focused on our differences. Uh,
Hmm.
like, oh, well, there are people who spend an entire day like shit posting about politics on social media. Like, well, you could have been doing something a little more productive, bro. Like, why that? Okay, fine, maybe one post or something, but like all day and being so like consumed by that as to
Mm.
not do anything else. Like, okay, whatever. Yeah, there's some shit going on in your state or in like Washington D.C., but like, okay, meanwhile, you see that person over there, that homeless person, like you could be doing something about that. That pothole, you could be doing something about that. Um, Whatever, somebody that needs help, you could be doing something about that. I mean, that's why I have all the tools and shit that I have is to help people. And geez, I can't count the number of people that I've helped. And that's a good thing. It's a good, like, I feel accomplished in that regard.
You should just start your own tool rental company.
Yeah. Well, I've always said if I lost my job, I'm gonna do auto repair, and like charge half what anybody else charges because I so I could do that and still make a shit ton of money. I could make more money than I'm making at my job by charging half of the auto repair rates and just for basic stuff.
Hmm.
But I mean, that's a big thing. Like being able to travel and stuff. That's a huge
Just no Broncos, right?
no. No 70s Broncos. Holy fuck. Ugh. I mean, I guess in that regard, I'm pretty familiar with those. So I could do it. Yeah.
92 BMWs.
Yeah. Well, I have all the special tools, right? I've got the BMW special tool number 239.
I've got 67 right here.
Yeah. But this is the thing. I think people, it's easy to feel helpless. Like, oh, you can't affect change. You can't make a difference. Well, you can. And it isn't going to come from voting. It's not going to come from some somebody that's high on the tower, the ivory tower, that like, it's not going to be a Jesus or anything. It'll be you and another person, you interacting with another person, making their life better, fixing a problem for them in some way. And a lot of people feel like they can't do that. Okay, well, everybody can. Everybody has some kind of skill that they can employ to improve another life, to make the world a better place. We should be looking to like, hey, leave this world a better place than when you came. Can you do that? You only have to do one thing. Like, oh, even if it's like, oh, I donated like $2 to Wikipedia. Well, there you go. You've left the world a better place than most people have. Like, or gave some homeless guy a cigarette or something like that.
Contributed to his lung cancer.
Well, but we can solve that now, in theory. Um, yeah,
Oh man. Well, I should probably empty my bladder
yeah, it's getting.
before the government shuts down my urethra.
That'll be a thing one day.
And it's just stuck in there, and
Yeah,
how uncomfortable would that be?
it's like, oh, you can't even. Do you have a permit to take a piss? Ugh, man. Well, this is a good one. We didn't get any comments, but yeah, that's okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, okay, everybody. Share your comments down there. We do this mostly every week, so stick around till next Sunday for the next one, and I'm sure we'll surprise you with an abundance of uh, thought, food for thought. Yeah. Hmm. All right. See y'all
well,
later. Take care of each other, and